back, everybody. I'm Jay. He's Maddie. This is Yankee and the Brit Sports Talk. And today we're going to review Week 14. But before we do that, since you're all football fans, I'm just going to get right to it. If you're watching us, you like football, you want more football like us, go to Savage Football Memes. You guys check them out. Over 52,000 members. It's a great time. Savage Football Memes.
Yeah, I just got some hate over on one of the meme places for my top 5 rookie picks.
Maddie, they were at you within 30 minutes. I posted that. Post on Friday, but something happened with my internet, so I waited till Monday and posted it this morning. And within 30 minutes, they were at you, and I had to message you like, hey, they're already at you over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but after last night's performance, after yesterday's performance, surely everybody has to have Micah Parsons at the top of their list.
I actually thought to myself, great, if this would have went up Friday like it was supposed to, but no, now I got to put it up after the biggest highlight of the Cowboys last night was Micah Parsons. So, it's like, really? I uploaded this the morning after that. Yeah. Okay. I thought I was going to be the one getting it right away, and it was you. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just got it straight away. I think it's because of Rashawn Slater at number 2, who's more than proven his worth as well. But never mind. People don't give offensive linemen the credit they deserve, and that's fine.
Well, I'll give you some credit right now, even though it's going to be our boy, Maddie, against Mark Duffy. Congratulations. But I got to ask, there was 5 of us Americans, and this is our sport, but we're going to let these 2 tossers into the championship, and I'm just playing, Mark. Congratulations. You 2 go at it. And I got to ride with my boy, Maddie, because he's representing the show. But, man, that was rough. 5 Americans.
It's just, if you're British and watch American football, you have to be really dedicated. That's all it is. So maybe British commentators would be a better thing for the sport. Well, maybe you should listen to us guys every once in a while. Well,
we're going to get better with this because next year it's going to be Britain division versus the US or UK division versus the US division, and it's going to be set up where the winner of each division is going to play each other in the championship.
Yeah, I just want to say how terrified I am of Duffy's team with the fact he's got 99% chance to win. I think he scored 270 points over the 2 weeks, and he's got Kyler Murray still to play tonight or something like that. That's a terrifying team.
The person he's playing, he's already beating, and they have nobody left, so the game's over. And no offense to Josh, but unless Josh's kicker scores 71 points against you tonight, you win. So
yeah, Matt Prater has to score 71 points against me tonight. I'm feeling pretty confident, but good game, Josh. Good game. He was very gracious. He commented underneath the videos and was like, before it was even over, before the Sunday night games, he was just like, yeah, man, congrats. Well played.
I saw that, but I really enjoy him. And he was on this page long before when it was still NFC North. So I've always enjoyed talking and going back and forth with him, and it's good time.
Josh, if you ever want to come on the podcast, if you're watching at this point, then you're very welcome.
There you go. All right, let's get into some games, Maddie. Let's start with that Packers-Bears game. The first half was amazing, but I'm still going to say at no point, and I'm probably not the only one, that I think the Bears were winning this game at no point. But I have to say this, and Bear fans are heated today. The refs didn't – me, I'm sticking up for the refs. The refs did not cost you that game. Your defense and Justin Fields' arm cost you that game.
Yeah, I was getting very uppity about it because obviously I was riding high. I was like, oh, hang on, the Cowboys could just be, by the end of this weekend, the Cowboys could just be 1 game back of the 1 seed again. And I was getting very, very excited about the whole thing when the Bears were pulling off returns and trick plays and all of that kind of stuff left, right, and center. And then it just kind of, Aaron Rodgers became Aaron Rodgers. Devontae Adams is an animal. They're the best team in the NFL. They're missing their entire offensive line, it looks like, and they're still putting 45 points on. The Bears are a good defense most of the time. They just didn't play their best game at that point.
Yeah, and part of me wonders, did they already get into that? Our season's over, so we're like 1, 2, 3 Cancun. You know what I mean? Mentally, are they already checked out? We'll find out though this next week because they're like the Vikings freaking kryptonite. So we'll see what happens in that like matchup coming up. See if they bounce back. I don't think that anybody even thought, like maybe Bears fans, but I don't think anybody thought, oh, the Bears got this game at any point.
Yeah, and it's a tough division, the NFC North as well. Like it's a really, really tough division where the Packers have just managed to somehow put together a system that just wins consistently year after year. But if the other teams in the NFC North were in other divisions, they'd have a possibility to win every now and again. Like if the Vikings were in a few other divisions, they'd win. And
think about this. So this is a crazy stat on how tough the division is. I heard this today and I could have lived my whole life without knowing this because it like stabbed me in the chest. But if the Vikings would have not let teams score in the last 2 minutes of a half or the end of the game, they're 12-0.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the Vikings are... The Vikings have been unlucky this season, and you make
the
your
Lions
own luck.
have won more games. Yeah, it's a rough division.
Like you make your own luck, and
absolutely
the Vikings have made critical mistakes, and the Lions have made very Lions mistakes in the points. But for that to happen game after game after game, when you see other teams that get in those close games, so like the Chargers this season have gone in close games and come out on top, it's a mixture of unlucky and just not quite having the situational play. But I think the Vikings are more unlucky than it was the situation, whereas the Lions, it's more the situation than they are unlucky.
Well, Maddie, I got to ask you, did I jinx your Cowboys in the game last night versus the football team? I'm not sure because at first I'm like, I'm being overly critical, but I expect more out of them. Then all of a sudden, I'm like watching the game, and I'm like, see, that's what you should be doing. Sticking it to this team. And as soon as I fucking sent that message to you, the tide just changed. They let the thing that bothered me was they let a team full of second-string players right now, the whole defensive line is second string, back into a game they should never have been part of. And I think if they were playing a quarterback other than Taylor Heineke, and that would have been a rough first half too.
Yeah, and the Cowboys were also playing a lot of their second string players at that point. And I think there was an element of they did take their foot off the gas. I'm worried a little bit about the connections between Dak and his wide receivers. They just look a little bit off. I'm not worried overall as a team. There's a lot of stuff that goes when you're 27. Like the Cowboys have done it numerous times. Like the Cowboys don't get credit for a lot of their wins from behind or a lot of their progressions from behind because it's all garbage time. And I hate it when people do that against the Cowboys because like where everybody plays soft and just gives it. And that's what the Cowboys were doing to the football team the other day. They just let them get back into the game by playing soft instead of doing what they've been doing all game, which was just killing their offensive line the entire time. Taylor Heineke has a bit of baller in him. Like there's that throw to Sims is just magic. And like that kind of started the tide. That's just a magic throw that 9 times out of 10 is incomplete. Probably 6 times out of 10, Trayvon Diggs comes down with the interception on it as well. The defense was incredible. Anthony Brown could learn to catch. That would be great. Like he had 2 interceptions that went and missed. Micah Parsons had 1 interception that went and missed, but I'm not going to shit on a defense that did what they did last night. But the Cowboys offense needs to start clicking, and it needs to start clicking now. But I'm not going to be all doom and gloom. 3 games ahead, a win against the Giants, and that's the NFC East locked up. That's it. That's it. Locked up, 3 games out. And I know the goal is in the NFC East. The goal is the Super Bowl this season. It's not the NFC East. But how about them Cowboys?
Well, see, that's the problem because I got written down here. on my notes, Cowboys play like this, they're one and done in the playoffs. I also wrote down Rodgers, Brady, and any great quarterback does not throw that pick six. And also, did you see what Ryan Clark said today? That if the Cowboys have zero shot of winning the Super Bowl if Dak Prescott keeps playing the way he's been playing.
Yeah, the whole Dak thing's a bit weird to me because I don't understand what's going wrong, and I think you might a thing. Like they'll click and it'll go. Like like what we've been saying about the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs have just clicked, or they'll just go, and that's just what's going to happen. It's when will that click happen? I'm now Dak Prescott. If you are playing, you need to run. Like, because there was a lot of times there where he could have kept drives going, where he just decided, where he could have just ran for it, probably made it to the sideline, where in seasons gone by, if it wasn't for like his injury last season, he would have gone for that run and made it straight away. And I'm not saying design runs for Dak Prescott. I'm just saying if it's there, then take it.
Yeah, well, I told you, I think the Cowboys, if they get it clicking, are going to be a team people have to worry about. And we were texting this yesterday, and I said, maybe I'm being overly critical, but I need to see more because there's so much talent on the team, but a lot of games to go. And you got a good run of that. You get to play your NFC East a lot here too. And you're one game, I think, away from clinching the division. So
yeah, we are. We're if we beat the New York Giants next week, then we clinch the division.
Okay, see, so you're in a good spot. You just got.
We're in a really good spot. Yeah, we're in a really good spot to get clicking as well. We're in a really good spot to win the game next week, and then play against the Arizona Cardinals. See what happens. If we lose that game, rest everybody. That game, people up, everybody fit who needs to get fit. If we win that game, see if we can get into the number 1 seed. But even if and just see what happens from there. This defense is something to be scared about. If I'm going against this defense with the pass rushing capability it has and the ability to get takeaways on the back end, I'm scared to face this defense. The only problem is on the back end, they get very, very jumpy, and that and that takeaway ability kind of overrides them, and Trayvon Diggs just only lives to intercept the ball, but he did some good coverage last night.
Well, onto a team that's not in the best shape, but I told you they're going to keep me in suspense all year, give me a stroke, because they're going to win enough to stay in the playoff hunt right there until the end and then rip my heart out. The Vikings versus Steelers. This is a very simple breakdown for me because this is a microcosm of the whole season. That first half team, the Vikings came out, they can beat anybody in the NFL. The second half team can lose to anybody in the NFL. Like, literally. That's like the Jags could have beat them. The Texans could have beat them. The Lions could have beat that second half team 10 times. Like, I don't know what's going on. There's all the freaking talent in the world, and they never get it clicking at the same time, or they can't hold it together for a whole game. Like, I'm going into halftime like, oh, I can freaking breathe for once. Nope, we're going to come down to the last play of the game again. I don't know. They're driving me insane.
Yeah, and get the win against a team who beat the Ravens, though. They're still in this playoff hunt because they deserve to be there. I mean, at least they got it done this time. That's how I looked at it last. That's how I looked at it last night, yesterday, whenever they were playing. Thursday night, wasn't it? That's how I looked at it. I was like, they got it done this time. And it shouldn't have been from. And we were talking at school today about cognitive psychology, basically, which is the idea of making pathways, and you can't run a marathon just by walking out of the door. You've got to take those small steps, build the foundations, and then go from there. And I think maybe getting a win like that against some adversity and getting it done in the end against a good Pittsburgh team may have done them better than just blowing the Steelers out. They just blew them out. But at least this is their nemesis, where it comes down to the last play and they get the win. So maybe they've built a bit more of a foundation there. But also, what the fuck are you doing letting the Steelers back in the game? It's the same with the Cowboys.
Yeah, it drives me insane. But I will say this, and nobody wants to hear this, but I really mean when I say this, the Vikings should play every primetime game, because is there any more exciting football than a Vikings game? Because they come down to the last fucking play every game. I'm not even joking. It should just be the Vikings in primetime, and not because they're the best game or the best team. It's because they're somehow going to figure out how to give you the best game at the end if you're not a Vikings fan.
The Vikings, the Chargers, the Bengals, get them all playing in prime time. Get every single
Monday
one of them
night,
playing in
Sunday
prime
night,
time.
Thursday night. There you go. Like, just line them up. Like, there you. It's insanity. But I'm excited because coming up next week starts Saturday football, because there's the college is done except for the playoffs, and so we get some extra days of football, which gets me excited. There ain't no reason to beat that game though, because it really what it was. It was a tale of two halves, which is the Vikings' whole problem this season. But I got to go on to the Browns-Ravens, which was a really good game. And the Ravens brought it back. But anybody who followed the betting line, we still won if you followed me, because we had the Ravens +3. Now, in me and Maddie's picks, he won and I lost. But for gambling purposes, we still won because we got the +3. There's some shit going on that I found out this morning. And it was a tweet at first, so I didn't believe it. And now I've read legitimate people are talking about it. Baker Mayfield and Kevin Stefanski don't talk to each other anymore.
I don't find that entirely surprising whatsoever.
Yeah, but there's a big problem. You have to agree. If your coach and quarterback aren't talking, especially when your coach is calling the plays.
Yeah, it's Carson Wentz last season. I can't remember who the
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson, yeah. It's Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson, isn't it? Like, that's exactly what happened with them. Baker is a prickly character. Like, Baker Mayfield is a bit up his own arse, a bit of an arrogant douchebag, and people love him for it. It's what makes him who he is. Fine. But Kevin Stefanski is all football. Like, I don't think as far as I don't know Kevin Stefanski very well, you know him.
He was with the Vikings for 17 years and nobody's ever spoke a bad word on him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this dude must be all football, like, all the time. And it's weird for him to have instigated that. I feel like that's a Baker Mayfield decision, which might mean that Odell Beckham was best mates with Baker Mayfield, and they both hated Kevin Stefanski. That could be part of the truth.
Well, that means Baker can't sign a new deal, though, right? I mean, if you're
I'll be surprised if Baker Mayfield's there in a year, maybe 2 years' time.
Right.
It's another reason not to give him 40 million. It's another reason to add to the top of all the other reasons that you need not to give Baker Mayfield that massive contract. The fact that he nearly got beat by the backup quarterback from Baltimore after being up by loads, like, that should be enough reason to not pay him 40 million. But as if you needed enough reasons, Kevin Stefanski, who is the success in Cleveland, it's not Baker Mayfield, it's Kevin Stefanski who is the success, doesn't get on with him, doesn't want him. Do anything you can to get a good professional quarterback in that building. Like, honestly, Tua Tagovailoa, I think, would be amazing in the Cleveland Browns. And I've said it a couple of times, and I don't think it'll happen. But Tua Tagovailoa, a young professional player with low cap hit at the minute, which means you can keep your super team that you're building together, and he'll just dole it out and dish it around the pitch if the Dolphins still want Deshaun Watson.
Call me freaking crazy, but I've seen this kid play a couple times now, and I think Huntley for the Ravens can play.
Yeah, definitely.
I think maybe with some more reps in a different system. I don't know. I think this kid's got a shot too, so maybe some team comes calling after him, but I just had to shout him out because even though they lost, I was very impressed with him the couple times I've seen him play. And you ask him to take over an offense that is nothing like any other offense in football. It's very impressive to me.
It's what Taylor Heineke said, where getting those NFL reps is the only way to get better. You just need to be good enough to get those NFL reps in, and then you'll eventually get better. And that's what's happened with Taylor Heineke, and it's definitely what could happen with him. The Giants are not very happy with Daniel Jones. He'd also be a great fit in Cleveland if all of this kind of stuff is true, and they're wanting to move off Baker Mayfield. And imagine Baker Mayfield in New York. That'd be crazy.
It oddly sounds like Jalen Hurts might be up for grabs because they're prisoner of the moment, in love with Minshew.
Yeah, well, they can do whatever they want. Fly, Eagles, fly to Gardner Minshew if that's what you want to do.
Well, on to a game that was a blowout, then it wasn't. The Bills versus the Bucs. Now, anybody can say what they want. This is another thing like you were talking about, letting off the gas on defense. That's exactly what happened. And people could say, I see people hating on Brady today and saying that, they won because the refs helped. By the way, by that argument, you guys, that was more of an offensive pass interference on Diggs than it would have been a defensive, because, yes, they were hand fighting, but Diggs tried to shove off. The DB grabbed his arm. But where the DB won that is he's turned his head around, and if you get your head around, the ref is never going to call that. Also, Tom Brady threw for over 360 yards on the number one passing defense, and the Bills are dead.
Yeah. Tom Brady does miss that throw in the end, though. He does miss that throw. I'm not going to blame Brady. Brady's the one who drove them down the field at the end against a really good defense to win the game. So, yeah, we can't hate on Brady. I was so close, man. I was so close on that pick. Nobody picked the Bills, and I was so close on getting that comeback. The Bills, honestly, don't defend the run, and they don't run the ball, which is going to fuck them. Like, it is going to... They just rely on the incredible talent of Josh Allen.
Yeah, and he was their number one rusher.
Yeah, he had a 100-yard rushing game. He's their best rusher, their best passer, their best player. Just their best player in general. And that's fine because he's a star quarterback. That's what you pay him to do. But they need something, like another wrinkle to that offense, and imagine what they could be. And it's just kind of sick of saying it now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not the team that you want to kind of run against anyway. You're always going to struggle to run against them, so it doesn't really matter. But
I don't think the Bills even make the playoffs now.
You could see it happening. You could definitely see it happening. But the way that they came back, though, gives you the whole feel that, hang on, they've got too much talent.
But I feel like the Bucs just let off what they were doing. They started to play prevent defense. It's like, what the same thing you said. Why do teams do that? You know what I mean?
Just play, right? Just play.
Do what got
if you want to rest players. If you want to rest players and you want to go into that prevent defense so your guys don't get gassed out or injured or they don't score quick, why not just run the same defense you normally would, but with your second string players to get them some reps, if that's what you're going to do. And then if it gets close, bring your first stringers back on, like that would work better in terms of team building. And you've got to think, like, the amount of wins that have happened because teams are giving up good garbage time, because teams are giving up good garbage time yards. The amount of wins that have come out of that garbage time, they're going to have to stop calling it garbage time because of how quickly offenses can score now. Like, that prevent defense worked really well when you didn't have monster wide receivers running 4-2, going the length of the field, even if you have everybody back there anyway. So, and with all the pass interference, that prevent defense is not going to hold up, because every time it seems that you go up for a ball that's been put past you, you're going to get a pass interference call against you. So that prevent defense, it doesn't work. Like, it worked in the NFL 3 years ago. It doesn't work now.
No, and I don't know what they're going to do, because I don't think you can fix their problems right now this late in the season. So I think they are what they are, and they're going to live and die by Josh Allen, which is not fair to him, but it is what it is.
Yeah. They'll find a run game. They've got good coaches down there. They'll find a run game next year.
All right. Well, Maddie, on to a game that was a blowout, and we're recording this on Monday, so you can call it Overreaction Monday all you want. I said the Bills are dead. Well, the Chiefs are back.
Yeah. Well, what I find amazing about the Chiefs is how hard I've been on them, and I acknowledged this when we were
fairly.
I acknowledged this when I acknowledged it. The fact that they're 9-4 surprised me. I think 9-4, 10-4, something like that. It surprised me, their record, because of how we just hold the Chiefs to a totally different standard. And the standard was last night. That is their standard. So that's why we are harsh on them, and that's why we hold them to those standards. They could easily, if they play like that, finish top seed in the AFC, when all everybody's been doing all year is slagging them off, and Patrick Mahomes isn't any good, and all of that, because they've found a defense, and now they've put 48 points up on a Raiders team that are actually half decent.
And they got a weird, it's not great, but they have a weird, good two-headed monster running game. And with Patrick Mahomes, you just need good. You don't need great.
Yeah. And that's the set. With Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, you don't need a run
Josh
game.
Gordon got his touchdown last night.
Touchdown, yeah. They're a terrifying prospect, aren't they, really, when you look at them like that?
Well, Maddie, let's end this on some weird shit out of Jacksonville. So reports are Florida man gets into argument with his coach. Okay. So reports coming out that Urban Meyer went into a meeting with his coaches and told them that he is a winner and they are losers, then talk shit to Marvin Jones. He leaves, coaches get him to come back. Then he gets into an argument on the field, which I guess was very heated. And then Urban Meyer doesn't even know what his guys are playing because he gets asked about Cisco's playing time. He says, I think he's getting more playing time, and Cisco played 0 snaps. I have no idea what is going on in Jacksonville. But first of all, you need to fire the inside source because we should not know this. And that's some weird shit.
That would never come out of New England. Whenever I hear anything like that.
Green Bay, nothing. No.
Pittsburgh. Like, it may come out of Green Bay at the minute because Aaron Rodgers wants it to come out. That's the only time it will come out of Green Bay. But Pittsburgh, New England, like those kind of organizations.
I think 99% of all teams, that's not getting out.
Not that. Like, that's obviously a terrible thing to get out. But things seem to get leaked from the Cowboys all the time. Like, there are those teams that like to be in the news, like as much.
Right, but I think there's shit that happens on every team that we don't hear about, and some reason we're hearing about it in Jacksonville.
Definitely, and I suppose it's a way for Jacksonville to stay relevant. I suppose it's a way for them to get fans to the stadium, like when they're losing, come watch this drama unfold, that kind of thing. Because with inside sources like that, it's not like. It's pretty easy to spot a rat. Like in your friendship group, there'll always be somebody that you can't totally trust all of the time. Like it's easy to spot a shady person. Like there is an adjective put forward for them and it is shady. Like you see it and they just like they'll know who that person is. They will 100% know who they are. And they will have told them anyway, is how I look at it. And a lot of it is to keep them relevant. They have the number one pick. They have a head coach who fingers girls in nightclubs when he's like 70 years old. They have all of this kind of terrible coaching decisions and all of that. It's like it's much watch TV in the same way that a disaster movie is much watch cinema, like
you know me, I am not quick to fire a coach. I don't always think it's the best idea, but like there's some coaches that need to go, and for that culture I always think Shad Khan might want to chalk this year up to, oh shit, we screwed that up, let's bring an adult in, because I don't know who tells their coaches I'm a winner and you're a loser, but as a grown man you ain't speaking to me like that, so I'm not sure how well that went over.
Yeah, it's weird. Like Urban Meyer's done a lot in this game. Yeah, I know it's the college level, but he's done a lot of game. You would think he would know that. It's like he's got to the NFL and he's made it. Like, you know, when you see when you see the 21-year-old wide receiver coming into the league and just blowing money everywhere. Hang on, Dwayne Haskins, perfect example. Urban Meyer has gone full Dwayne Haskins on this situation. It's like he's made it, and this is what he's decided to do.
I think he went Jamarcus Russell because he's way overpaid. But yeah,
because none of this has happened in Johnny Manziel. Like, none of this has happened in Ohio State. Like, there's a few things of it when he was at Florida, but not really. And then all of a sudden, within 1 week, within 1 year in the NFL, like, his life's just like he's gone full on bullet. It's like, honestly, watching Urban Meyer at the minute is like watching Grand Theft Auto. Like, that's how I feel he's running it.
He can't handle losing. Something's killing him because he's so used to winning. But I can't understand how you think you can talk to grown men that way. Like, no shit, Marvin Jones got mad at you. You ain't speaking about me in the press like that. Like,
yeah,
like, you got a problem. Come to me.
Yeah, like, what kind of childish shit is this as well? Like, I'm a winner, you're losers. Like, what is that? What is that childish shit?
No, I didn't believe it when I first read it, because I read it on a tweet and I'm like, this is some, like, bullshit tweet. And then I went and read, and like, reporters are reporting on this that you trust in the NFL world. And they're like, yeah, this is what I heard. And you're like, oh, wow, there's something to this.
Yeah. Just a big child. A big two-fingered child.
All right, guys. I think that's enough for us. Keep your eyes open. We'll keep coming back at you with Week 15 preview. We'll hit you with our power rankings. Easy for me to remember. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.